Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. We're Zwift Community Live's broadcast of the WTRL Zwift Racing League week number 8, greatest London flat. Nathan Garrett, Dave Toll. We're back at you. We were just live less than, I would say about 40 minutes ago with the East. It was very, I've got this saying in my head actually after I heard it yesterday in the premiere, a humdinger, as I heard Matt Stevens say yesterday. That was great. Commentary from you guys in the Premier Division yesterday on the men's side of things. Men's, women's racing, it's been really close battles across the day. We just saw 2 deciding races actually for qualifiers into the for entry into the qualifiers that are happening on Friday and Saturday to get into the Premier Division for the Zwift Racing League, the top level of racing. Teams have been battling for 8 weeks straight now. It all comes down to this. This is the final broadcast of season 2. And I'm pretty excited to finish things out. It's been a long, it's crazy how quickly this has come. And at the same time, like, it's been week in and week out efforts. These teams have really put a lot of sweat and blood and tears into, hopefully not too much blood on the floor, but a lot has been going down,
tears.
that's for sure. Or tears.
Yeah.
I don't, I actually hear about some actual crying that takes place after racing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose when you look at it, the whole spectrum of emotions comes out during an 8-week season. There's going to be that day that your team has crisis where there's some kind of technical issue. It seems like it happens so randomly, but it'll catch you at some point or another. That's for sure. So, yeah, I got to say to everybody, it's been so enjoyable watching the racing. The selection of courses have been tremendous, especially the last couple of weeks. Whole lot of lava was great. So, anyways, as we jump into this final race, we're back in London. It's greatest London flat. This is going to be 31K of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Nathan, I was a little surprised at. So you made some really good points at the top of the broadcast that all held true. As far as there's not a ton of elevation, about 160-ish meters. We'll take a look at the course profile in a minute here. But one thing is for sure, those little features, they do damage. We saw teams coming apart all over the place earlier today.
Yeah, it's a great point there, Dave. And I think the upfront nature of this course is a little bit deceptive. I've raced on the London course a lot, and that initial start out of the pens always kind of gets me because it's like, oh, there's these little you hit these little bumps over and over again until you hit Trafalgar Square, and it's kind of a no joke up front. So a lot of the climbing is up front that hits the riders. Then there's obviously the Surrey Hills as you see them heading on over through there as well, and then the exiting of the tube. Those are the main sections, but the first streets that you hit in London, you do see that right by that finish line. There's a lot of little ups and downs on over there. And we can also take a look at the course profile. We do have a profiler here that we'll put in over the top of the Zwifting in a little bit here as well. But that gives you a good idea of how up and down this course actually is. So definitely a little bit deceptive. That's for sure, Dave.
Yeah, when you look at it, and again, we're going to be jumping in with the women first here today. But this course is really perfect to wrap up the season because one of the things that we saw that in team time trialing holds true is the strongest riders really have to figure out how to harness that power correctly. And when you come into that last 7K, so there's a 24-kilometer check. That's the last time check that you see. We saw just about everything that could possibly happen out there. So a couple of the teams were able to keep it together, and that was the difference, was having 5-ish, hopefully 5 riders when you at least, 6 ideally, but 5 riders coming into that last 7K to take advantage of that. Also, I wanted to go back to what you were saying too. I pretty frequently check in with the Zwift Insider. They do a really good job there, Eric, and it's the cast of characters that help build up that content. And they had said that the first 7K were pretty easy for your team to group up and get going. And I was thinking, oh, like Fuego Flat's easy? or Tempest Fugit early, easy. And I tell you, man, it really scales up in difficulty because you've got all these engines that have been idling. Some riders are ready to go. Some riders, it's really hard that first minute to 2 minutes of a team time trial. A big challenge to get synced up. You've got your rotation order in mind already. Almost every rider knows, okay, I'll take the first pull, and then Dan takes the second, but pretty quickly that'll all change. Just leave it to team time trialing. But I think that we've seen, Nathan, that it's a little more challenging in that first 7K, as you were saying, to get your team synced up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more challenging, I think, than a lot of people had let on. Let's jump right down into some of the racing images here. We'll
I'm
take a
not
look.
throwing shade on Zwift Insider.
No, not at all.
Just
Not
saying.
at all. I mean, you can call it as it is, though. And I think the reality is that this course up front is a lot more difficult than a lot of people had thought. I was like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be more of a drag race type race, sitting on the wheels because it's so flat. I actually said that last week. It's so flat that really the only place you're looking at is Surrey, and that's not a whole lot of climbing over
Not
there.
that bad.
Actually, yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
just sit in, get a good rotation. But the reality is no. There's a lot of bumps on this course that can break things apart, and a lot of times racers are looking to try and get a little bit of an advantage to those sections, which can cause some mayhem. That's for sure.
And you have to remember that some of the riders, Nathan, the top riders will be at 90% as far as perceived effort, and these variations that we're talking about aren't that great, but they are when you're at 98%. That's the thing. We're not right in the sweet spot here. These riders are all putting a top end effort out. So let's take a look at the cast of characters that we've got here. I have come to know and love this group of racers. So Velocity Vixen, no surprise to see them with 139 points here. This is the small but mighty division that we have. All three teams have got a lot of heart. ATP Racing Swarm, they're sitting in second, and Revo Scores in third right now. But that's not really the story. The story is how they're racing out here today, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I'd have to agree with that. 100%. This is a solid group of Robert Fazolic who's out of there. Hines we're seeing as well. Stallkamp all riding for that ATP Racing Swarm. The Vixens there chasing them, and then Revo Scores who go out first that we're currently looking at on course right now. Now also in and amongst these teams, it's going to be the Audi Women at 137. Crouch Mount Evans. There's a battle there for first and second still that could be playing out here in front of us today. Cadence and Wadi Inc., they definitely have a battle as well. Watch out for them. And then Penn Velo WB, that is going to be the B category. We'll jump on over to them and see how they are going in just a few moments. For some of the splits as well for the America's West Division 1B. And in the C's there, Revo Musketeers at the top with Herd of Meerkats. 1 point difference, Dave.
Yeah, this will be fun because the team that wins here wins the season. When you look at the ins and the outs of the rules, if you have a tie on points, so let's just say that Herd of Meerkats wins and Revo Musketeers are second, well, that would put them both even on points because there's only 1 point difference between first and second. We count them down from 20 for the winner, 19 for second. So, with that being said, the best result on this race would be how it was the tiebreaker there. The count back it makes it very, very simple. So unless they tied, which has you were saying earlier, if you think it can happen, it could. That has really held true this season. If there's any remote possibility that something could happen, there's a pretty decent chance we saw it. It's been magic. Absolute magic all year here on Zwift Community Live for sure. But this season too, I don't know. I don't want to throw shade on season 1. I don't want to throw shade on Zwift Insider, but season 2 kicks season 1's butt, in my opinion.
Yeah, season 2's been a lot of fun. I mean, having the change up here where really the chance to shine in the TTT has been there, which has been great, but having 3 TTTs and a lot more change up with some points races to give everybody a chance to really be a part of the race has been absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
well.
adding all those points, right? Great idea. Because it made the racing much more vibrant.
100%. So here now at the front, Revo Musketeers still pushing on here. Jay Miller now with ATP Racing. We'll give a little bit of highlight here. The American rider now 163 beats per minute on the front. 41 kilometers per hour as Barbara Fasoli sits in on the wheel there out of Canada at 166. Perfectly positioned with, it looks like, Connolly, Hines, and Zada there and then it's going to be stall camp at the back with the pink hat on, and a little bit of style going on here. It looks like I'm always loving this Zwift pink. Where is this? Is this from a truck? Is this a running? Does that mean she runs? It's got to be a running cap, right? Is there Zwift Academy unlocked? It's got the Zwift Academy branding on it a little bit.
I'm with you on that. Barbara Fazoli is the Canadian on this team, Nathan. Hannah Stallkamp, Jasmine Miller, Jennifer Chieta, who's a big talent, Joy Connolly. This is a great team, ATP Racing, that we're looking at here. I love their spirit. They're 6 strong right now. They are hitting it. So watch for a good ride from ATP out here today. Yeah, Nathan, I'm with you on the cap. Oh, I did want to mention, I had a quick note here. Kate Bates. People are like, where's Kate? Well, so Nathan, I am really lucky to get to broadcast with you, and we work together a lot, I'd say. We've probably done 42 team time trials together just on WTRL. So Kate is normally in this slot, but because of life, just no problem, just things going on, she wasn't able to join us tonight. But I've had a few people message me because they love Kate so much, and so do we. I know that Nathan, we're both really big Kate. She's great. She's fine. She'll be back soon. So just know that she is missed.
Yeah, Kate was on earlier today. Plans are in the works. There's plenty that's going to be going on over the next 2 to 3 months. Don't worry, Kate will be definitely.
Oh, she's a machine.
Back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna definitely be having plenty of racing, plenty of not just racing too. There's more to be coming along the down the pipeline for Zwift Community Live stuff.
Let me just
here. Go ahead.
I just want to give you a quick shout out because, people talk about equity, and Zwift does a tremendous job with their efforts to promote, advance equality in women's racing, and it has worked when you look at virtual Tour de France and World Championships and how that's gone. But it's how you walk it, talk it, and your actions we have, outside of yourself, an even number of female and male commentators. And that's your choice of, I'm sure with your team or what, but, it's really nice to see that women are organically getting these jobs and opportunities. And I think both Kate and Anna are tremendous examples of this. This will be something for them for their future, right? I mean, I could see both of them doing Tour de France coverage in years to come. And this is, they're really helping advance what we're doing with esports and the sport in general, right? So it's all good. And I really appreciate that they're getting these opportunities too, as I'm happy I am as well.
Absolutely. And just to speak that a little bit, I mean, it has Anna specifically, I know, is going to be broadcasting with Ironman and some other opportunities that are opening up for this as well. So that's definitely a value that we have here, to put in the equal opportunity across the board. So, and we love to highlight racing across the board here. Cabot now toward the front. Speaking of women's racing, 167 beats per minute. This is the current leading team, Velocity Vixens. Hammering away.
I love this team.
Top seed. And now we're going to try and grab some splits here. I have a feeling maybe we've had awesome live data all day long. I'm wondering if we might just have a little bit of bad luck here on the back end. Don't want to curse it too much. We'll have to wait and see if it does come on through for us.
I'm sprinkling some pixie dust on Zwift data right now, and I think it's going to work. I just have a positive feeling. Let me shout out the women on screen right now then. It's all Canadians on the Vixens. It's Jennifer Girth.
Well, I think Jesse's here, though. Jesse and Alicia Stats. So there are a couple of Americans that are looking at you like, Dave, you get pushed across the border, Dave. What's going on here?
You know what? 100%. 100%. So Alicia Stats out of Seattle. There she is right there. See that flag next to the maple leaf? Nice to see this mix. There's a really great group of racers up in the northwestern part of North America. Actually, I guess for the Canadians, it would be considered the southern part, but the Vancouver, Seattle, just a really good scene. A lot of great racing and clubs. The Audi Women, at some point today, I'm sure we'll check in with the bees out there. They've got a great thing going as well. And really good example of how, every week it's a fresh palette that you're working with, and uh, I should say fresh canvas, because you're creating that event. Oh, looks like a catch coming up here, Nathan. I'll talk to the pictures.
We're just gonna swap on over to the bees actually here. It's gonna be Von Warblow. Hopefully Walbrough here out of the US of A. Penn Velo with Levinson here. Carstay, it's gonna be Burns, and then I believe that's gonna be 4 riders that have shown up for the Penn Velo team. We did see that they were in the overalls here, with I believe sitting about third overall. I'm going to double check this one here real quickly here. And excuse me, no, they were in 5th overall. They were the last to start on, or first to start. And so that's going to be the bottom seed. Wadi Inc. is chasing them down. 120 versus 117 is the current situation between these two teams, though. So it's definitely close racing. And this is a battle to be watching out for, actually, on the day, with that 117 versus the 120. If Penn Velo can have a solid ride, they are gaining time, actually, over Wadi Inc. today, too. And if Wadi continue to lose time to the rest of these teams out here, they're going to have a tough day, as we are looking, it looks like Assenbranks, Thompson, Makepeace, and a few others here. I'm going to see if I can get a team name on this.
Yeah, let's figure that out. I'm going to go back then and shout out Penn Velo with Jessica Karsta, Laura Mace, M.A. Levinson, Stephanie Burns, and Yvonne Walbrough. They've been outstanding to watch race out here. I'm not sure what Kiwami is, Nathan, to be honest. Sorry. Oh, Tracy Moore here. So you know what's interesting? They have emojis as their team name.
I just noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlene Eden, Laura Thompson, Megan Holtham, Shirley.
I think that's going to be the Cadence team. I'm assuming that's going to be the Cadence team, actually. So
see, I'm old enough. I don't speak emoji. I cannot translate that. It's bicycle, and then it looks like a guitar too.
A trolley and a guitar, maybe, or a bus and a guitar.
Broom. It's a bus and a broom wagon.
Broom
that's
wagon.
That's
okay.
So that's a classic thing in real life racing. That vehicle that follows road races. That if you drop out, it's your last hope to get in a vehicle to get to the finish.
I learned about that on the Bone Ride. That's where I learned about
there you go. It sweeps
the sag
up.
wagon. Yep. Yeah, that's where I learned about the
it's
sag
the ultimate
wagon.
sag wagon. And they take your number off you, too, in the Tour de France. So there's an element of humiliation and sadness. Usually riders are crying when they enter that vehicle. Should be a documentary about the broom wagon. I feel good. So I lied. I said I don't read emoji. I just did. So don't sell myself short, right?
It's a good
I just translated emojis. So it's like hieroglyphs for a guy.
I was
going to
say,
like
you just brought in the
hieroglyphs.
Yeah, you just brought it in. So, looking through, we're going to see if we can bring in some of the men's racing as well in just a moment, as they have gotten out on course here. But we do have some splits starting to come in, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. In the A category, it is a 12:09 with
very close.
12:13, and Revo scores at 12. That is a lot closer than I was expecting. Really great to see some tight racing.
Yeah, some great racing.
Women, for sure. B category here that we are looking at, though, 12:13, 12:16, 12:18, 12. This is really close as well. Great to see, with Audi Women holding it down 3 seconds ahead of Cadence, who I believe we are looking at right now. As I move our way backwards, though, here's going to be the Audi Women, as it is going to be Hudson now, hammering away. Ashley Hudson, her teammate, it looks like their Laws in here. Samantha Devour. It's going to be Colleen Greiger, and then Natika D and Shirley Mitru, all riding for this team. I believe, no, Shirley, I think, is actually riding for the Cadence team. My mistake. So she's just falling off pace here with these riders a little ways back here. But ND Natika, I think, is just going to the back here to get back on terms. Usually a very strong rider, but 182 beats per minute. Maybe looking for a little reprieve action.
Yeah, I really like this team. That's the spirit. That ND is one of those motivators. So, there's V-Win and this whole scene going on, the virtual Everest rider. Well, this is the next wave of awesome people coming through in Seattle. And this team has got exactly what you're looking for, that band of sisters. They look out for each other. They communicate. Nathan, I know that you've done team time trialing in the WTRL format. And I tell you what, my heart goes out to anybody who's jumping in as a guest rider with the team, because there's already this. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Did you
Just
watch
this.
that stream? Did you watch that stream?
Oh
Oh
man, I
my
did, and I felt like that was
I was
rough.
so
I
mad.
mean,
I was so, but it wasn't their fault. I was just in the middle of
it's hard.
confusion. It was so
It's hard.
confusing.
And
So confusing.
these riders, like you see, we watch ND. She's taking the pole right now. So look how well organized they are.
185 beats per minute. She had plenty to work with still.
They are.
I was.
They have got this going, man. So they've had a real battle with CryoGen. Last week, CryoGen really took it to them. They threw down a whole bunch of power-ups. We missed it in the coverage, but I heard all about it from folks. And CryoGen just was tactically awesome. And, you can't be on your A game every day. Well, it looks like they are today. Good job, Andy.
ND here. This is Netika D. She is coming out of Thailand, actually. I wonder if she's racing in her morning, perhaps? Or
No,
what
she's
time?
in Seattle.
She's actually
She's
in
in
Seattle.
Seattle.
Okay, she is actually in Seattle. No, her home country.
Isn't
being
that
Thailand
interesting?
then.
Like,
Okay.
speaks to how cool Seattle is, man. That, like, V Win is Vietnamese. She lives in Seattle, works for Microsoft. I'm not sure what ND does, but I have a feeling she's also in some high-level brainiac type profession. And how rare is it that we see the Thai flag out here? Well represented.
100% here. Audi Women really killing it here now. So let's go ahead and jump on over. We're going to take a look here quickly. We'll jump in with the C's and the D's in just a moment.
You know who else hangs out with these ladies and actually rode for the Audi team when she won her cyclocross national championship in 2019 is Laura Matson-Coe. She's buddies with all these ladies. Laura is one of the coolest people in esports. I honestly, genuinely think that you don't find a higher quality person than Laura Matson-Coe. We miss her. We need to get her back out here. She's been so busy. The surgeon, remember?
Now looking at the Freds now. And Ryan McGee riding for the Freds, it looks like here with Abscape Finesse. It looks like in the name as well. So I'm loving the name. Edwin Park, I believe this is going to be Ryan Ivany. This is Oliphant, McGee, and then maybe this is Fred AF, of course. Now as McGee takes a pull on through at 118 beats per minute. I have a feeling perhaps struggling a little bit with the heart rate monitor, not reading correctly, because his teammate with Oliphant is at 180 beats per minute at 43 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure that is going to be the right electrical connection going on there. But now we do see all the starters are out there, but the waiting on some of the times to come on through. Maybe need another reset on the Zwift data here in just a moment. But you can see who's all started and how many they started with.
Catherine Monks is in with Abscape Finesse.
I think she might be DSing them.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's not beyond her capacity, but yeah.
I saw it in the start list. I figured it was a DS situation.
I'm with you there. That's your experience talking. So, Fred's is a great name. I'm wondering, at this point now, I think it's omnipresent in cycling culture what a Fred is. But I actually know the guy, Alan McCormick, an Irish rider, that coined that phrase back in the late 70s, what a Fred was. He would call a Fred someone who had all the gear but never rode. So they would sit outside a coffee shop, just sitting there like a Fred, But the real riders were out wearing out their equipment and had holes in their shorts and stuff because they used it. They actually wore the equipment out instead of keeping it pretty for everyone at the bike shop.
It makes me think of the mammal. For some reason, as I saw that, I thought of mammal as well. So
the men in Lycra,
middle-aged men in Lycra.
Yes. There you go. I should know that. I did know that. I just wasn't exactly. First time coming in there. The Rowdy Rockets at 11:19. Start filling up that.
That's Johnny's new team. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the Johnny Rocket team that's showing up on the
offshoot.
Yeah, I know he was going to do his own thing for a little while here. So I wonder if the Rowdy Rockets is coming from the Johnny Rocket doing something here. So special teams coming on through at 11:10 as we're waiting for a few more times to start coming in. Good to see that the live data is starting to pull through here. Holloway's now with Schultz as well as Stretch, and then McRae. That's going to be who we're currently looking at. See if we can find a team name for you here, as we are lacking the current tagging in game. One of the cool things about it's a cool thing that the WTRL TTT doesn't necessarily need tags in game. It does help us out a little bit though if you do use them.
Yeah.
To know who we are looking at. This is going to be the OTJCR team, is what it looks like, with Curtis Holloway, as well as Stephen Holloway. Backwash, perhaps, is the name, though. There's like 5 different names, actually, around these guys, so we'll have to wait and see who we're looking at here with this team. We know who we're looking at, just what team they're representing. Zwift Power's not helping us out there. Behind them, it is going to be the Dirt team, with the Dirty Rascals Stampede at 11:07 currently, as they're looking to chase them down. Baines is here with Bartlett. Ewan Chuck, it's going to be Hemke as well. This is a very strong team as the Stampede pushes on.
Yeah, that's a great team name, Stampede. And Martin from WTRL is up there in Calgary, so I bet you he's cheering them on right now. They're synced up, looking good here as they hit 10K in. That gives them just over 20K to go out here. So they're out onto the circuit, that first 7K sector that brings you. It's an interesting course, that's for sure. Heading out to Surrey, the Surrey Hills there. And it's just enough. And let's actually on the Rivet Rush coming through the 10:49. So they're 11 seconds quicker than the 2 Dirty Rascals teams here, Rampage and Stampede at 11 flat and 11:07. Special teams in at 11:10. Only 4 seconds back to our friends from Edmonton, YEG CXA. Rowdy Rockets at 11:19. Still clearly respectable.
Take a quick look at how this matters for the season, though. 135 here. As you can see on the Rivet Haze, they're going to be the top seed on the day. They'll be the last to go. Oh my God, they killed Kenny at 125. Now, Penn Velo, Dirty Rascals Riot, and oh my God, they killed Kenny right on the Rivet. No pun intended there, but right there to hit that second place. There is a battle. Alto Velo even could still be in there.
Well,
they have a crazy day and a lot of teams get in between, so be interesting to see how this plays out. Oh my God, they killed Kenny. We're gonna have to hold on to that spot.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who beats which other one of those teams has the better ride today. Although it could differ, it looks like it's going to be exactly that. There's a 2-team race for second there. Oh my God, they killed Kenny, and Penn Velo A will absolutely be locking horns. We can stick with a Stampede rodeo theme for the rest of the final. It's hard to believe that this is it. The West wraps up not only today, but the regular season of ZRL Season 2. What a way to go out. Team time trial. Another full squad here, Nathan, as we're in with the men's A's right now. And so that's the airport code for Edmonton, YEG. And taking a look at all our Canadian friends. A lot of Canadians here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to guess, boy, if I don't know that I'd want to pick. If you said who's better represented in the West, the Canadians or the Americans? Ooh. It's probably just about a tie.
I'd actually say the Canadians. I'm going to say that. Well, there's a lot of American flags in the bottom end of that. Yeah, a lot of the Canadian teams, which is interesting, are pretty stacked. Why are we going so fast? This hurts, Tim Rush is saying from OTR Rush here. And they're looking to be hold off YEG CX, YEG CX now at this point. Rampage and the Riot now with the Dirty team now trying to make a catch as well. I'm loving the dress here. Look at these boys. Look at the color code. Like, these guys are just completely mismatched across the board, but on purpose. It
looks like
it's
a riot.
Like,
yeah,
it does. It looks like a riot, Rampage Riot, however that might play out there. And, I almost feel like this is like album cover material though. Like everybody in some like different outfit here. Almost. Anyway, I'll leave that one be here for now.
Yeah, I'm
But
following. I'm picking up what you're putting down, though. There's a method to the style here.
madness, method to the
There's a
madness.
method to the madness. Yeah, yeah. So I love it. So dads inside, indoors, riding trainers, another movement in the world of Zwift for sure. Thousands and thousands of people identify. Another one that's going on to do some cool stuff. That Velo News article we mentioned in the previous show that talks Ben Delaney, who I love, does an article. It features Martin and Zwift Community Live. And Nathan, get a nice shout out too. But talking about Ted King and that Velocio team with Kevin Bouchard Hall. And so he's a dad. They're dads indoors riding with trainers. And this is becoming quite a thing. We're going to see. They have Andrew Fenitz. He played for the Boston Bruins, Nathan, for a long time. NHL star, was a Stanley Cup winner. He races with them. So they've got a guy who did the Tour de France. They have Jeff Kabush, who went to the Olympics in mountain biking, and a Stanley Cup winner on their team. And they're just another team in the Zwift Community Racing League. You know, I mean, there's something special and super cool. I get that. But they don't treat themselves as anything other than just six dudes that get together and hammer their brains out, have a blast. They joke around. They have fun. They do. Kevin Bouchard Hall does a race recap. And he's got such an awesome sense of humor. Just a really good job of keeping things fun and light, and certainly doesn't take things too seriously. So I think that's awesome, and a lot of other people do too.
Dirty Rascals Riot here now, and I want to. I mean, 100% how awesome it is. It speaks to. It's a testament to the platform, and that like these are all people who are at the top level of sport, competing,
having fun.
I mean, you know, like where they have been in sport, right? And then they all jump on here together to just on a Thursday night and on a Tuesday night just to go and have fun. I mean, that really speaks to the reality of what Zwift racing is and Zwifting is here. Now, I wanted to highlight this. If you look at that board, oh my God, they killed Kenny, Penn Velo, Dirty Rascals Riot, Alto Velo, On the Rivet Haze, and On the Rivet Rough, right? And then you take a look at this here, and you see, oh my God, they killed Kenny at that 125, 124 with Penn Velo, and Dirty Rascal Riot at 122. There's too much math going on here, to be honest. But like this is really going to come right down to it here with Dirty Rascals Riot. They're not placed very high in the overall standings, but they might be doing a little bit of an upset here on some of these other teams with how close this is. 1038, 1038. You know, there's a lot on the line here at this point. Hayes, they just have to finish on the day, really, Hayes. But these other teams, there's a battle for that second place overall. Kenny's got to make some work happen here because Penn Velo and the Dirty Rascals, they're really giving them a run for their money here at this point.
Follow along with me here, Nathan. But when you get to this level of racing, you're into the 8th race. This is the 3rd team time trial of this season. A lot of these guys race in WTRL on Thursdays as well. That when you completely commit to the process and you go all in with your team on a ride like this, you go 100%. You ride as hard as you can. You completely commit to it. I don't think that there's a team out here that doesn't completely bury themselves, right? Nobody's racing at 98%. You can't do 101% because there's only 100%. And I honestly think, would you agree with that? Like, if there's someone out here that's not trying their absolute hardest, I'd be pretty shocked, to tell you the truth.
Well, there's the reality of what they're racing for their team. They fought for 7 weeks straight. This is the 8th week in. All of that effort, all that
you've really invested
comes down
in this.
to this week right here. So yeah, between all the teams, the celebration afterwards or the defeat, the feeling, it's the same as a championship type situation a lot of times, you know. So that's what's going on here right now in front of us between all these teams.
You really see that in social media, right? Like when Cryogen was winning, any of the teams that have a presence there, when they win, they're proud. They know what it took. Because they had to overcome some real challenges. The teams that they beat, they have respect for because you know what these guys or women are going through that you're racing. And that's something that I always have a hard time with people who don't get on Zwift and don't really, if you just spectate this, and again, all due credit to you, Nathan, as far as like there's a certain threshold you have to go through with this of understanding how it works and uh, to respect the sport. I appreciate people who then get on Zwift and ride and then they come back to you and say, holy cow. Like I look at those numbers, I see what I was doing, and that is just another universe what these athletes are doing. And at this level, we got the C's on here now with Fallon. I mean, these guys' numbers are nuts. These are some of the fittest people in Canada and America right now that we've got on our screen. Wherever they
I'm
work,
trying
they're
to
probably the
get an
fittest
idea
person. I'll
here.
put it that way.
Is this going to be? Is this Meerkats 1? Is what I'm wondering that we're looking at here, because Bria Fallon, from what I'm seeing with Bria, Meerkats 1 in the name. Herda Otters with Aaron T. Christine Barr, Meerkats 1, it looks like. Lauren Camp is in here as well. Marcy Varley is here. She was riding Herda Flamingos, I think, at one point. So it looks like they might have done a little bit of swapping up between the team members. This is going to be in Herda Meerkats 2 that we're looking at here, and that's going to be with the 2753. So it was Herda Meerkats 1 at the front end with the fastest time at a 24:31. They are really having a good ride out here today.
Yeah, absolutely. As they look good. I mean, like the formation says a lot. If you're in single file, you can't really ask for much more than that. You look at how long the riders on the front are taking their pulls. Obviously, your stronger riders need to take longer, deeper pulls versus trying to go faster when you're up there. It's all in the process and understanding as they look really good here. T coming through, the Canadian. They're rotating nicely. This team's moving quite quickly here through London. They've got 7K to go. All right. Well, they're in the hunt now. Again, if you look back on the season, it's going to come down to the Musketeers and the Meerkats here. The team that gets the better of the other will be your champion for season 2 in the ZRL. It's that simple.
Aaron T that we're looking at here right now, she is going to be leading things out at 3.9 watts. Well, actually, no, her teammate B now coming on through. She's level 21 Zwifter coming out of Canada. Her team, oh, no, excuse me. She's actually on the front. My bad. Now she's fading to the back. Here's Bria Fallon's going to be coming on through as T's done with her pull. C Bar now, no, that's the rider who's coming into the front of this Meerkats camp. And that's going to be Christine Barr, also out of Canada. A little bit of a mixed team is Marcy Varley and Lauren Camp, both out of the US of A. See if we can get some more information on these riders. Bar level 39 Zwift. There's some more experience than some of the others out here. As Aaron, I think, a little bit newer to the platform, but riding for this herd team.
I just saw V Win's name on the start list here, and I realized she's directing the Audi team. It would make sense there. So I love what V Win is all about, the virtual Everesting champion right now. And she and Kristen Kolchinski have kind of been going back and forth in the #1 ranking on Zwift Power for women. So nice to see V jumping in and supporting her friends out there. We already talked about that Audi squad: Ashley Hudson, Claire Law, Natika D, and Samantha Devoir. ND in full effect with that team. So that was actually our women's B's that I'm talking about. We're in with the C's right now. A lot of racing going on out on the West Coast. So Brie Fallon, I'm sorry, that's going to be the Meerkats 1 rider, Bria Fallon, that I was talking about. Big motor on that squad.
Yeah, so real quickly on that front, this battle between the Revo Musketeers and the Meerkats is playing out right in front of our eyes right now. We had talked about this a little bit earlier, and Revo Musketeers 1 point, right? Now, if they take this down, we're going to end up with a tie, but it would be the last race won. If I'm not incorrect, the Meerkats will take this down if Revo Musketeers are unable to close down this gap at this point that has been out to 25.02. So we're looking at about 31-second gap right now, kind of walking away with this one a little bit, and Farley now makes her way to the front.
Yeah, boy, that's a telling split right there. Really hard to make up 30 seconds out here, but you never do know. Pacing has been really a big question mark for a lot of teams. So Really depends on which race you're talking about. We've seen plenty of teams go out too hard, too early, too aggressive with their schedule, and then really pay a price at the end where the teams, a couple of the riders really would be the issue. So that's one thing, too, to note, Nathan, is that some of the guys were fine with the pacing schedule, but enough weren't that it was a problem for the team, right? You needed to keep 4 riders there to get a time, and that 4th rider just said, no mas, I cannot do any more. And that's really tough as you push that razor's edge that we talk about, that is the elite level in performance. But this looks pretty good for the old Meerkats right now. So not only do they have the fastest time, they've gone by everybody, I believe, out here, if I'm reading that correctly. Looks like we got another race there as we split the screens and have the A's back coming up. This is a winner that we're with right now. Love this team. This was Stephen Wu, who won on Libby Hill, and he's got a huge fan base out there. So jumping back
this is
in.
a team that, kind of showed up on our radar about halfway through the season here, AVRT. They've been extremely strong in the back end of the season here. Absolutely loving this. And long-standing team, SoCal, as we're seeing O'Reilly here now toward the front. I've been trying to hold on to this guy's wheel.
Cam O'Reilly's great. Yeah.
And he's been just demolishing me in hot route, and then we did the Uber Pretz. I mean, I don't know why he wants to show up to every race that I'm doing, but he shows up, and I'm like,
he's your nemesis.
This is going to hurt, Cam. Here we go, is what I'm thinking.
So I love that. He's your nemesis. He's your actual nemesis. Great guy. Has a super attitude. Alto Velo, Michael Sweet on this team as well, and Benjamin Kreitman. I'm sorry, Benjamin. So they look good. Who am I missing now? Because someone's tag is going to have me searching around. Richie Voss. There we go. These guys out of Northern California, the Palo Alto area. It doesn't get much better than that for riding and just quality of life. Alto Velo Racing we're talking about. Their split time in at 20:50, 1 second behind on the Rivet Hayes. We're only 5 seconds behind Penn Velo there, sitting in third. Oh my God, they killed Kenny with a 20:32, and it's only 12 seconds back from the monsters of Dirty Rascals Riot. Fastest time, 20:20, Nathan, from 16K, which is basically the midpoint of the race there, just a little past the midpoint.
Yeah, trying to get an idea of how this is going to play out, because, oh my God, they killed Kenny. It looks like they might be able to pull this off. Penn Velo had to beat them on the day. It was a 1 point difference. That was the difference coming in.
12 seconds.
Ooh.
12 seconds there. That's,
I mean, look at it here, 125, 124 in the back end. We've seen it. I mean, we saw it earlier. Actually, time and again today, we've seen that the back end of this course has punished. ATP pulled out a solid 20 seconds at the back end of the course. Ken, oh my God, they killed Kenny. Hold it together. Will Penn Velo have a surge?
Yeah, well, it's that old, if you write a check that your body can't cash in the second half of the race, that all comes due in the last 3K, where we have seen teams lose 5 seconds in that last 2K even. So, it's all about your pacing schedule and whether you can hold up.
Yeah, and we'll see here
right now.
I mean, looking at the images here now, 5.8, 5.7 as they push through 47 kilometers per hour currently coming from these riders. Now 190.
Looking good. I mean,
ooh, is he putting an effort in, though? I mean, that's a huge 190 beats per minute right now.
6 watts per kilo? Yeah. I mean, he's crushing it up there. Don't count him out. Let's just say that, right?
Now, the thing with this team is they can see who they are battling with right now. They look at this. They see, oh, my God, they killed Kenny on the chase.
They see in real-time split. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
23 seconds is the difference here. Now, what's interesting to me here is that throughout the entirety of the race that we watched between ATP and Cryogen, that this split was right around that 25 to 30 second, and ATP and ATP were the leaders, and ATP ended up winning by 20 seconds. So it can be a little bit deceiving because you think, oh, it's within striking distance here. Well, we'll see how this ends up playing up because this second half of the course and how hard they kick out of this tube, as well as that final sprint to the line, it can be everything. So,
you know what, Nathan? If your team is on it and crushing it, you can make up 2 seconds in that 150 meters, right? Or 100%. You can see the whole thing fall apart on you. If only 3 guys can do it.
400 watts here from Brian Kellison right now, suffering.
I can picture him. Hey, Nathan, you've done such a good job. So when Kate is with us broadcasting, Nathan is still here. He's doing all the producing in the background. You've brought in Brian quite a few times, and that has been fun. I can picture him just sweating and crushing it right now. Here we go. This is going to be it. Big moment right now. This feature, and they're going to do really well. Up, 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 and over. Nice job, guys. Penn Velo killing it here.
And I do have the opportunity to bring in a couple of live images here, actually, of the racing from Brian. We'll go ahead and take a look at how things are playing out. I think he's really suffering. He's letting it go.
He's hurting.
He is hurting, and we're going to see. Look at the head down here. Look at him. Look at him. Head down. He's burying himself, literally burying himself in the lower left-hand corner of the screen.
Perfect.
As you can see, gets back on terms. Amazing job here. I wonder if his Twitch chat is just freaking out right now. I bet you they are absolutely loving it.
That's some good producing right there. Good job, Nathan. So people wonder about what this effort is. This guy is so far in the pain cave. He is staring down at the ground, just making a deal with the devil right now. And he gets back in, doesn't he? Is Brian? Yes, he's tagging back on.
He's in.
He's in. He is back in. What a super effort. I give him Employee of the Week there for Penn Velo with that effort there. Give him his own parking spot for the month of March.
So as you can see here on the left-hand side, there's his avatar, 168, 169 beats per minute. Here's what the suffering looks like, though, when you bring him in on the right-hand side. This is his point of view, and he looks like he's actually using the third-person point of view. Not something I personally really am all about.
Kind of too close for you, right? You like a little more.
He likes it, so that's fine. I mean, if he's getting it done, that's his deal.
It's his life. Yep.
Yeah, it's his suffering, however he wants to suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, and if it works for him, great. He's a very experienced Zwifter, obviously, at this top level.
It's working.
Quinton continues on. 6.1 watts per kilogram from the Penn Velo rider here as Kellison continues to play a solid role here. And having that extra body is going to matter, too, when it comes down to a few of these sections here. So it's great to see that he was able to make it in and survive.
Yeah, he'll take a pull. He'll get back up there and swap out a couple pulls there and be a part. He's great. Nice to see out there, Brian. All right, back in. Okay, we're in with, oh my God, they killed Kenny. So these two teams are locking horns here today. That's the slick bike choice right there that Mog has.
That might be the difference for a win, too. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like those bike choices are so important when it comes to just a few seconds and at that last split. I mean, 2032, 2044, it's going to start coming in here in just a moment. We're getting an idea of how close it is between them at this 24K. Oh, my God, they killed Kenny on the chase at 6.8. Quinton trying to pull them along at the same kind of pace. 25 seconds is the difference.
Listen, when I'm slogging around sand and sequoias, hoping to do it in less than 45 minutes, it doesn't matter what bike I'm on. Let's be honest. But for these guys, 100% it matters, and that's the difference. They're going so much faster. The CDA or the profile of how slippery your bike is, it really is a couple of seconds. I mean, a helmet is a couple of seconds. A bike is a dozen seconds. So I completely agree. But I think you get what I'm saying, too. For someone like me, it would be vanity, right? I want the new Colnago just because it looks cool. For these guys, the choice matters.
Oh, man. I'm just going to leave that one. Like, what are you doing, Dave? What are you spending your drops on?
I didn't buy a Colnago, dude. I've got the same old. I'm saving my drops for one.
What are you saving for? What are we thinking?
Disc wheel.
Disc wheel? Yeah. See, I knew it. So nope, you totally are in. You're hooked on the You're
I
hooked
know what
on
I'm doing at least. Yeah. And I've just gone over 30% on my way to the Tron bike. So
There we
Simon,
go.
if you don't punch your
What
ticket
is
and
going
start the
on,
ride,
Simon? Look at this.
yeah, tell Simon I'm up to 30% and I only started a month and a half ago, so he could do better. That's what I'm saying. Have you guys
Yeah.
recorded a new Zwift cast? I'm sure people are dying to
It'll be
hear that.
sometime in the next week or two. Sometime in the next
Good.
week or two is usually where we're at.
Can't wait.
Usually where we are at.
Well, what do you think, Nathan? Again, I out of respect for our athletes and not just blowing hot air, I think this is going to be really close. I mean, clearly, talking about, oh my God, they killed Kenny and Penn Velo today.
Yeah, it's really coming right down to it here between these riders here.
But it's hard to say. I mean, it's going to come down. They both look pretty well organized. Neither team seems to be, kind of at that breaking point of just about to unravel. So this should be really, really, really fun to watch.
Want to definitely highlight, we did just have a couple of the women's teams finish up. Meerkats were just coming across the line. I definitely want to highlight the Revo Musketeers that are also here. There was a battle between them, and this was for some top spots in the C category. We'll take a look at the A splits. A lot of them have come across the line already. 38.06, so it looks like the Meerkats did get away. KRT Lightning are there as well. That's going to be with Katie Levi. It's great to see her out on course for the KISS Racing team. The Fearlets are here as well. All hammering away. Good to see the Fearlets out there at the 42.30. I believe KRT may be already across the line here, so solid effort coming from them as they were 0.4 at the last time we had a check. So solid result here for Fearlets. And then Meerkats 2 out on course there with the 43.20. They'll be coming in for 5th place, it looks like, on the day. A little under a minute back from that.
Look at the squad here. Whole team together, Nathan. Down to a little over a K to go, K and a half to go here. Well done, Meerkats 2.
Meerkats 2, Selena Faulkner. It's going to be Heather Joe is in here as well. We've got Charlotte Orr. It's going to be Julie Morahan, and then Gail Coker, I believe. Is Gail actually riding for this team, or is she just off the back? I think she's off the back. No, Gail is not riding for this team. Brenda Bilitis as well, and I think she is most likely dropped as well.
It's funny. Meerkats, otters, flamingos are what I see here with our herd family. But there's Meerkats 1 and 2. So there's a lot going on with herds.
Liking this coming out of Canada. Is this going to be in the British Columbia area? She's on a big hit bike. This is full on mountain biker.
That's North Shore, right?
North Shore, yeah, for sure. Pacific Northwest. Faulkner here. I'm a big fan now. Big fan, Faulkner.
Full face helmet. I'm looking at that.
Yeah, full face helmet. And that looks like, I don't even know how many inches of travel there. It looks like at least 8 inches or more
6.
of travel.
Yeah,
That's like almost motocross level here. So she's hucking things I think I'd be scared to even look at is what I'm thinking here. So way beyond the cross country level of Nathan, that's for sure.
There's an ad on TV in America right now that for an auto company that is these people driving around on the moon and jumping a dune buggy thing. And it says, "Do not try this at home," underneath it. I would think that we'd be better off to say, don't try what Selena Faulkner is doing at home there. That's a whole lot more realistic and a whole lot more scary, doing that enduro downhill world takes nerves of steel. I guess that's one of your
Penn Velo. I thought they might be able to do it here. And yes, I'm playing a crowd favorite a little bit, having known these guys. We'll see what happens, though. They still have plenty to the line. It's only going to be 9 seconds. It's 9 seconds. It's 9 seconds. What's happening here? 22.
So if you're pulling for Penn, which is completely fine with me, they're great guys. It's super cool. Kate, in the spirit of Kate Bates, she loves, oh my God, they killed Kenny, right? So she, I'm sure, is saying, come on, guys. She's definitely a fan. So somebody's in everybody's camp.
Kenny's fading. I think they're fading. Oh, no, I see 7-2 from Mog here now.
You said
but look,
with hope
now,
in your
look at
voice.
this, though. Look at the They're gonna be like Nathan. They're gonna.
Oh boy! So it's more. Yeah, right. You're gonna lose a couple fans. I'm totally kidding. We
Felton
root for you
continues to
all.
press this year, but I think a lot of these riders, I'm not sure that there's a lot of matches left for a few of these riders. Some of these riders are just barely hanging on at this point completely. Yeah. And Felton, I think he's taking rests and allowing another rider to come through to just get a mini rest and then go again. Mini rest, go again, over and over again to try and carry this team. Quinn. Yeah, huge ride here. Mog is doing something very similar. 6.7 watts per kilogram coming to him. John, I believe Heinlen's going to come through next. He tends to be a juggernaut on this team.
He's really
but no,
good.
It's going to be Bullock here. But now Bullock's
interesting,
coming through and then fading.
They look good. These guys are killing it right now.
There's only 4 left, though. There's only 4 left. So if Penn can pull something off, they've got, is there 5 here still? Just barely with Muko down. Everyone's got to stand and go. Surge, 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 surge if they're going to actually make this happen. Really, it's the underdog I'm riding for because I think, oh my God, they Kilkenny are the ones that are currently on top. Brian Kellison, a last-ditch effort here. 8 watts per kilogram. Johnson coming out through.
Kellison!
Oh!
What a monster. What a monster. He gives a bit more. Oh, man. Some gave all out here today. Way to go, guys. Come on, Penn. They know that they're going to need every millisecond that they can get. This is full throttle. The accelerator's been down on the floorboard for quite a while now. I mean, the gauge is on empty. You can't dig any deeper than these guys. Penn Velo making a run at it now.
Yeah, look at him up and out of the saddle a little bit, completely buried himself. You can't even see him. You can't even see him. And he's trying to make his way to the line here. Cottrell Quelton now 7.1. Eugene Chan's always got a huge kick on him. We'll see him maybe lead things to the line. As all they need is 4, and they're going to make that happen. What a ride from these boys.
As they say, he looks like a chicken having breakfast right there. All right.
So you say that.
That was our Australian friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was Aussie co-opted. Yeah. All right.
Brian just did 369 watts for the duration there. Absolutely buried himself. Northray OTR.
There's a server in China right now that's smoking, trying to process that data. It's about to collapse. That was a huge effort there, Brian.
Look who's racing with these guys.
Caleb Carl for his 4th race of the day.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is nuts. So Caleb Carl's actually 6 different people that work together as one entity. It's unreal.
Oh my gosh, the guy's a bot. I mean, he's just a bot.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here?
That can't be real. I now no longer believe that's what we're seeing is real.
He's like literally a bot. Like, what is happening? All right, B category. Let's see if we can find some of the B category riders out here.
Did we see an Indian flag earlier, Nathan? I believe we did. The nation of India. I thought that was cool. One of the Penn riders.
Oh, I actually have no idea.
Thinking. Whoa, I hope I'm not wrong. That would be embarrassing. But you know what? There's 212 nations in the world, so the flags were some you see a lot, obviously, and some catch your eye, like Thailand earlier. That was cool. I think we had India today as well. Usually, though, they're person of that nationality working in the U.S. or Canada is typically with this time zone what we see.
Jumping in here quickly with the dirt team, looks like, with the Believers.
Some of our bees.
Loving the Believers. They're out here giving us a good little soundtrack to go to here. Looks like Bartlett, Barnes, as well as Rumpel.
Justin Bieber would make a good Zwifter. I bet you he's got the dedication. If he can dance and do all that stuff that he does, I'm sure he'd be strong enough to Zwift. Probably does.
Little do you know.
He'll be on Velocio. He'll be on Velocio for season 3. They're looking to get some more diverse talent. Not just NHL stars and Tour de France guys. They're looking for major entertainment feature artists. Smuggler coming through. If that's a real last name, that might be the coolest last name ever.
He's, what going to the back of the pack after you called him out there, Dave. You caught him. You caught him
Don't you agree,
red-handed.
though? Can you imagine, like, what's your name? Dave Smuggler. And they're like, really? You're like, it sure is.
I don't think anyone would
That
trust
would-
you, Dave.
Then, yeah, right. You'd have credibility issues with people. What are you carrying there, right? What's in the bag?
Moving back to
So-
OTR here for the Bs. Let's go ahead and bring up some splits here for this crowd because we want to know what's happening here between them. We'll give you an idea of what the results are in just a moment because that was a tight battle in the A category just a moment ago. TFC Apocalypse making their way to the line, it looks like. And we did see Musette Crocodile. We're at the top. Evo Sonic
love.
Blast. On the Rivet TWSS. Dr. Will Bar. Tableau Hot Lunch. KRTB. Big Timbers. Dirty Rascal Believers. Pickle Juice.
Pickle Juice.
There's a second.
Some of the
killed
best
Kenny.
names
There's
in the
a- there's a-
league
There's another. Look at
are
this.
in this group.
Pen Velo and oh my God, they killed Kenny. We can't get away from them. They're also in the B category with 9th and 10th right now.
Hey, I love these teams that have that kind of depth, right? Feeder squads. It's just awesome to see. So, I'm sure most of the men and the women associated with that team all are, pretty a cool group hanging out in Northern California,
Watching South Park.
having a blast, watching South Park. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they do with
Musettes
their
of
time,
crocodiles.
obviously.
Yeah.
They're-
That's another one of Kate's favorite names, Musette le Crocodile. Crocodile, she says.
What?
I sound like I really miss Kate, don't
I
I?
can't make heads or tails of that name. I don't really know why. Why is there a Musette
Well,
and a crocodile? What do they have to do with
I don't
each
know
other
either.
in any way whatsoever?
I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but a musette, a feed bag that they
Yeah,
use.
it's a
in road
feed
cycling,
bag,
right?
but like, are
yeah,
we making
right.
it out of crocodile skin?
I
I don't know what's going on here. Like, is PETA
See,
involved?
I think it's avant-garde. It's a play with words. It's a joyful play with words that nonsensical, right? It's like jazz of teams. So as we ATP, oh gosh, who do we have here? Is it not ATP? I'm sorry. This is one of those kits that gets used.
It might be. I mean, this
This
guy's
is
got ATP in
ATP's
his name.
kit,
Look at
right?
this. Well, it's a Power Tap.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Power Tap isn't a company.
You see
anymore,
this a lot. Yeah. It's like the Wahoo kit or something. It's
but this guy. And there's this guy.
Lawrence.
Good job.
DWB PDX. Portland.
Good job, Lawrence. With the line, 142 beats per minute. Riding in for PDX. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some C category riders before we go.
Lawrence has got himself a Tron bike looking good.
It was specifically planned for this broadcast to show it off. He knew.
Hey, if you
that he
got
would
it,
be
you should
here.
flaunt it. Z-Sun Controllable, Nathan, with a nice standout performance here. I'm looking at 25 seconds quicker than Dirty Rascals Affogato sitting in second. Then the Dirty Rascals Grind sitting in third. Penn Velo C1 fourth. On the Rivet Force in fifth. And that's from the 24K checkpoint. And it looks like so this is the C's that I'm talking about. And this is the C's that we're looking at finishing here as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just
Because
gonna
that's
try and get a
Affogato,
few more
yeah.
of them into our feed here. So as quickly as we possibly can. We did get a little bit of help here from Team CLS. Got us into the C pens. Thanks a lot to them. As Z-Sun Control, as you were saying. See if we can get an idea of where the standings are for these teams in this C category. Because there may be some battles here that we're unaware of. Does look like at the top. Yeah. Cryogen Columbia and Z-Sun Controllable. Looks like Controllable are making
Oh
something
my
happen.
goodness.
Well, that was
So, wow. All right. The Zwift Crusher Daddies there. The Crushers edition in fifth. Rind, Padres.
They always look. Those are the guys that you go for the fashion police. The ZCD. This guy. I mean, look at these guys. They always.
They know what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
The funny thing
They're
is
Anna
like,
Russell approved.
I mean, the funny thing is about the Zwift Crushing Daddies is like, this is like, I don't know how do I say it? Like it's a pretty, it's not like the kit isn't basic though. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
like
there's nothing. Yeah,
it's
they're not
like
doing anything that you can't do, right?
but at the same time
Yeah.
they just wear it right. They just wear it right,
Yeah.
like kind of a
If,
thing.
if they're well
So,
put together is a good way to put it, because
yeah.
anything that they have is readily available off the shelf at your local Zwift garage.
The game just kind of kicked us out over to here. So see if we can find the rest of these
Well, we
boys.
have had a great season looking back here in with Bishop now, but it has been really fun going through 8 different races. 3 of them, what we have today here, the team time trials. We're about to push paid. Asensio,
With the
Wadi
Wadi Inc.
Inc.
boys, Wadi Inc. The
Yeah,
line here.
big fan. Wadi Inc. makes some really cool stuff. They got a very forward-looking vision with cycle styling, triathlon as well.
Take a look through here. These are the D's that are going to be coming in with Cryogen, Mount Lemon, and Herd of Charging Rhinos. It looks like it was wow. Talk about like there's 2 teams that are showing up in this D category, and they are neck and neck by 3 seconds. Like what? Like that is the
Wow.
coolest thing ever. Like talk about dedication. So, all right, like I was gonna skip over and just head on over, but
That's incredible.
It is. It is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna go see if I can find Dennis Fernandez
Well, I hope they had
and Fleming.
Don't you hope they had a great time racing each other this season? It looks like they will have, right? I mean, yeah, it's 2 teams, and that's not ideal, but you made the most of it out here.
I mean,
Well
I
done.
wouldn't even care if this battle to the line. I mean, this is absolutely
That's what
awesome.
makes it fun. Doesn't really matter if how many people started. It's just that
Every week
the
I
thrill of
looked
racing.
like for weeks on end. It was Dirty Rascals Riot. I was not like you guys are on my radar when I was showing up. That's for sure. Every single week, week in and week out, and that's probably what's happening here. Cryogen and the Herd looking right at each other. And like you are in my target. They're driving to work, thinking about them. Like, all right, we're gonna beat these guys tonight. You know what? Like, it's the same kind of thing. Like, this is absolutely great to see. I'm loving this, and it's gonna be Ann Fleming here riding for this team. I'm loving the mixed category coming in, level 19 Zwifter as she rolls into the line with the rest of the team here. It's going to be
Hey, all in
Dennis
all, these
Fernandez,
times are
Eric Neuwer.
super. This is not a bad job at all here, as they're going to be in well under 55 minutes. Nice work.
I'm going to see if we can find. I'm going to skip away from us here because it's not going to for a moment, but 30 seconds. This is right to the line between these teams. It's going to come right down to it, but we are going to get pulled out of the event here. So
We'll get
we'll head
bumped.
into the results. Yeah, but we'll head into the results here and get an idea. But big shout out to Team Cryogen, Matthew Graham, Tob Sheeman, Mech Techie out there as well. It's great to see all of them. Dave, here we go with the rest of them. Who else is out there? Scott Galbke, Donnie Peterson, as well as Matt Evans. Just wanted to give all you guys a shout out in that D category, battling it out 8 weeks straight, and it coming right down to this. Not only was it like a tight battle here for that, very tight battle for the day, but I believe 118. I mean, this is okay. I'm just gonna highlight this here really quick because this is absolutely awesome. Like, you know, we saw these splits, right, Dave? So here's the splits, right? Battling out. We were like, oh, yeah, great. They're showing up. Not only that, 118, 117. I mean,
So it all came down to today.
It all came down to today between them. Absolutely loving that. That's really, really great. Good job down there.
So
showing up week in and week out.
So you might say, well, there are only 2 teams. Of course, one's in first and the other's in second. But what's interesting there that Nathan is astutely pointing out is they're 1 point apart. So that means they've swapped wins basically each week, right?
All the way through, yeah. Back and forth,
Right,
back
right.
and forth.
So it's not
battling
like-
it out.
If there was a 7-point difference, then you'd say, well, the same team won every time, but not at
Probably
all.
motivated them
those
to
teams-
keep showing up, too. It probably motivated them.
Yeah. I love it. Good for you. That's what it's all about. And here we go
I'm being told
I'll
from
take it.
Jayant Mukho, just heard the comment, it is Indian flag, Dave, in Penn Velo team, just as a heads up there.
Thank goodness. So that means I was correct. That rarely
100%.
happens. Nice.
Go ahead, Dave.
It's interesting, just to give India some props. I like to spread some sunshine. Alexei Graywal is the American he was American when he won the Olympic gold medal, but his parents are from India, and he definitely his wife is Indian, and he's the only Indian Olympic gold medal winner. Even though he wasn't competing for India at the time, right? He was an American, but again, U.S. had never won a U.S. Gold medal either. So, India represent. Always nice to see diversity out here. But let's jump in with Velocity Vixen. They worked so hard all season, and this is going to be in the Women's West A's, a 45-25 to take the win here. They were very efficient out there. ATP Racing Swarm, they're going to be silver medal winners, and Revo Scores. We are looking at a bronze medal for them. What's interesting, is, Nathan, how you reverse the watts per kilogram there. The most efficient team in team time trialing is going to be the champion. You got to have the power, too. You got to be in the conversation, right? But that says a lot.
100%. That speaks completely to why the tactics and being efficient out there. It's about speed. It's not just about power. You got to have power to produce the speed, but if you don't use it correctly, you are not going to get the win. Cryogen Mount Evans comes on through for first, followed by Audi Women in second. Cadence takes third with the emojis. It's going to be Penn Velo WB for fourth, and Wadi Inc. Ice Cat. They are in fifth place in the Women's America's West Division 1Bs in the C category.
Hey, herd of meerkats, congratulations. I almost said muskats, right? As that would be a combination of the gold and the silver there. As herd of meerkats take it with a 48.06, it's the Revo Musketeers for silver. Good job out there to KRTC Lightning Strikes, taking the bronze medal. Fearless in fourth, and herd of meerkats 2, rounding out our top 5 for the America's West Women's Cs.
And then for the men's, let's go ahead and go. This is the standings. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results, actually. Dirty Rascals Riots there. They came on in with a 39.07. They were flying tonight. It's always that battle between them and Hayes, but they stomped on the competition tonight by 53 seconds. And it's going to be, oh my God, they killed Kenny, holding off Penn Velo by 4 seconds. That was to hold on to a qualifying spot as well. Penn Velo come on through for fourth place. Alto Velo Racing AVRT in fifth. It's going to be Dirty Rascals Rampage in sixth. On the Rivet Rush in seventh by 2 seconds. Evo Sonic Boom in eighth, followed up by Rowdy Rockets there in ninth. And then Dirty Rascal Stampede. That is the A's for the America's West.
Let's take a look at the aforementioned Super Squad. Musette Le Crocodile taking the win with a 42.01. Evo Sonic Blast in at second. Dr. Wilbar for third. This is the Bees in America's West. It's on the Rivet. TWSS for fourth. Pickle Juice from TFC ending up in fifth. KRTB, the Big Timbers in sixth. Tableau, Hot Lunch in seventh. Dirty Rascals, Believers in eighth. Oh my God, they killed Kenny B in ninth. And then Penn Velo B1 rounds out your top 10 for the Bees.
In the C category, it is going to be Z Sun Controllable coming on through for first place, followed up by Cryogen Grand Colombier. Then Dirty Rascal Padres in third. Dirty Rascal Affogato in fourth. Dirty Rascal Rascals Grind in fifth. Lots of dirt teams in this C category here. Penn Velo C1 coming on through for sixth. To be Zwift Crushing Daddies the Crushers looking good in seventh. Sunspot there in eighth. On the Rivet Force in ninth. To be Lightning Velo C coming on through for 10th. For the D category, and it looks like the results are in.
There it is. Cryogen Mount Lemon with a 53.18. It was close. The herd of charging coursers ending up in second. For our men's mixed D's, It was a lot of fun watching you race all season. Way to get your commitment done here as well. As it's got to feel good to make it to race 8 of the season. We'll take a little break and be back with season 3. It'll be here before you know it, as spring kicks in for most of our racers here, Nathan, right about now for the Americas East and West. It certainly starts to warm up, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all back here soon. I'm sure we'll see a lot of you at WTRLs on Thursdays. I love the fact that we're coming up on our 100th race.
I want to really quickly go through and highlight the qualifiers for this weekend's Premier Division playoffs. It is going to be on the women's side of things. Velocity Vixen in the West do get added to the list from earlier. ATP Racing Swarm as well. Congratulations to them. And then it's On the Rivet Hayes and Oh My God, They Kill Kenny from the West that will be competing this weekend, Friday and Saturday, in the playoffs competition points race as well as TTT. Be sure to tune in for that, as it's going to be absolutely all guns blazing. I think there's it's going to be really interesting to see, because we've been commentating the entirety of this season on these teams separately from each other, and now this is who we get to see compete against each other. Beast Mode, D-Pack, BZR Fusion. I mean, these teams, they're the names at the top end. And now we get to mix them all up and see who comes out on top.
That's so cool.
The top 3.
It's your all-star game of Zwift Community Live. I think it's good. Yeah, right on. And these teams, you wonder, what would happen if Godzilla fought Mothra, right? Well, now you get to find out.
Yeah, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. That's a great one here. Now, quick little announcement here also on the provisional qualifiers for the B category as well. Congratulations to all of these riders. Great job out there today, finishing up and qualifying to get into the next category up from there. The C qualifiers we also have coming on through. Everything is just starting to get updated, actually. Here for the C's and the B's. On the C side of things, I believe it is going to be AHDR. Lots of AHDR actually out here. See if we can bring this in as well. Get an idea of how things are standing with the C category. But great job to the Caffeines, TBR Smile On, Sock Squats, SBR Cake, Evo Barbarians, HDR Blowfly, DBR Tornadoes on the men's side of things. All of these across all of the categories and all of the divisions playing a huge role. And this is what really makes up the Zwift Racing League. I mean, it's what's so awesome about it is the way that it is developed in sport. We talked a lot about this when it launched. It was one of the main talking points, actually, is the way that this is developed in sport, because everybody has something to shoot for. And this is what they were shooting for, to get into that next set. Now it's a whole level of suffering, a whole new level of competition, Dave. I mean, I've got a couple of clients that I coached that was one of their main goals, was like, all right, well, now Zwift Racing League is here. I want to be on this list. I want to upgrade. I want to go to the next level and get picked up maybe by a better team, or take our team to that next level.
Be careful what you wish for, right? But seems like that's just part of what makes this so awesome, is that if you want to find out how you stack up against the best in the world, if you do this for just long enough, it doesn't take that long if you're really talented. Until, look at Kristen Kolchinski, right? She went from never having raced to being in the world championships and getting a top 10 in basically a 6-month period. So dreams do come true out here, but you got to do the work as well. There's no gifts, that's for sure. If there was ever a sport where, man, your dedication will pay off in major ways if it's legit.
Well, congratulations to all of those riders. That's the A, the B, and the C's, and who is going to the playoffs. There will be a broadcast this week, and Dave, I did see that question come out. We'll be scheduling that in just a moment, and you'll be getting a calendar invite. Hopefully Dave's available on the weekend.
I'm always available for this, that's for sure. And you know what? As we were saying, we have so many qualified and awesome colleagues that, hey, if I get beat out by Kate and Anna, so be it. They're awesome. I completely understand. So got to be realistic, right? And you know what? That's a great thing, too. We all get our opportunities. It's been an absolute blast for everybody to shine out here during this season 2 of the ZRL. And I love the fact, Nathan, that you've taken the time to figure out how to get more of the coverage of the B's and the C's and the D's. And it is really a challenge, folks, to try to do justice to everybody out there racing. But with all due respect, I think we've come a long way. And getting the finishes of these races when we can has been a lot of fun. We're already starting to identify some of the riders to watch for the future, and cool personalities out there too. So, I just like to keep the positive momentum rolling, Nathan. And I think that also, thank you, WTRL, Martin, and what he's doing. And this concept of, I call it the all-star race, pretty much what it is, this knockout round. It's going to be a blast. I really love the way the changes we've made have improved the league in season 2.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited to see how it ends up playing out this weekend for the playoffs and who makes the Premier Division. But if you guys want to check out the rest of the results, head on over to WTRL and make sure to also hit those follow buttons, subscribe, do all those cool things. You'll know what all of the next events that are coming up. More announcements are going to be in the pipeline. Watch out for something happening on Wednesdays. And then obviously we have WTRL TTT this Thursday and playoffs. It's still a very busy week. I feel like like Tuesday.
We haven't had a week this busy in a while.
Now it's like, Thursday, and then we're going to have Friday, Saturday. It's going to be a lot of racing yet to come. So be on the watch out for all that, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you on Thursday for the TTT. As always, everybody, great job to all the racers out there, and right on.